I'm Heather McClure. Thanks for joining us again for Creative Mornings Santa Fe. We're joined this month for December 2020 by Jeanna Gienke from the beautiful and interesting Opuntia Cafe in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And she's joining us today to talk about one of her favorite topics, biophilia. This has been an intriguing year, and we're so glad that you've come and visited with us at these Creative Mornings, and we hope they've been thought-provoking and interesting. And we look forward to seeing you again in 2021. Thanks.
Hey, this is Jeanna Gienke. I'm with Opuntia Cafe in Santa Fe. We are a tea house plant retail store, and we just opened in the rail yard about a month ago, just in time for it to all be shut down. But in this quiet time, I'm very happy to be able to dive into the things I love here. And my specialty in this space is creating the environment. So I'm very into biophilic design. I've been studying it for about 10 years now. I've read a lot, self-trained, but I've applied it a lot in my life, and it's been, people respond to it really well. So it's been exciting. It's an exciting path to share with you. Essentially, humans have been on the planet for about 200,000 years, and then only in the last 10 have we made homes. We've been more nomadic than anything, and we've evolved to have challenges, and we've evolved to be surrounded by nature, and our bodies are made to leap over rivers and to climb hills, and in our modern homes we make them as comfortable as possible, which is, of course, that makes sense, but we've grown farther and farther away from nature. So biophilic design is very much about bringing nature back into our homes, but more than that, back into our business places and back into schools, back into healing spaces, hospitals especially. There's been a lot of science done on the benefits of biophilic design and healing. So I have a unique opportunity to share with you how I've incorporated biophilic design into my business. And yeah, I'm excited to show you some slides. I'm going to have a lot of plant pictures in here because this is my specialty. The easiest way to incorporate biophilic design into our spaces, I believe, is plants. So that's what makes it very exciting for me to have the opportunity to sell people plants, because I can kind of introduce little pieces into thinking differently about our spaces. This is a Opuntia before we did construction. So it was going to be a bowling alley, actually. Huge vacuous space, very masculine, lots of metal, absolutely no wood, a lot of light. I think that's why we were inspired by this space to begin with. The skylight's amazing, almost like an old train station, just floods the whole space with light. There's also 3 garage doors that open on the east side of the building, so that's perfect for most succulents and a lot of plants. We also have a tropical plant area in the middle of our restaurant that has a pond that I had to fight really hard to have here, but it's being very much enjoyed by everyone, so it was worth it. We did put 3 skylights in the ceiling above the pond. These are gourd lights. I actually made, I planted these in my garden. I plant gourds every year. I'm a little obsessed with them. But this is an example of a biomorphic shape, meaning that this would be a shape you would find in nature. And the way that they're clustered is actually similar to how they grow on the vine. I did cut these in half. I carved their edges and I stained them black. So those, those parts are not natural. But the shape and the way the light bounces off the marrow on the inside, I think you feel like you have nature surrounding you. This is a sensitive area with the most unique pattern on it. I think plants like this, especially when they can create shadows on the floors and walls, can be an amazing peripheral experience of just having texture in our homes. When you're just dealing with kind of floor, wall, table, all hard shapes that are human-made, these kind of organic shapes that have movement can really change a space. So this is a material connection with place. That's anytime you're using materials that directly connect to where you're living. I think people really respond to this. We live in the high desert in Santa Fe where we just don't get a lot of rain. We have these beautiful cottonwoods that hold water and lots of shade. They're kind of our largest shade tree. So they live in the wetlands. I instantly think of water when I see a cottonwood. It was a joy to make the chandelier because it was all cottonwood roots. This is a very familiar shape to us New Mexicans as it holds actually its own ecosystem, cottonwoods. They would grow along the washes and the arroyos and the rivers here. I love this element in biophilic design. So this is a refuge. When we were nomadic in nature, we would find caves and shelters to protect us from weather and predators. I think that's still alive in us. I think we still need, places to be tucked away. So we created these booths. Well, I should say, not everyone needs this. I would say there's a minority of people that really need this. More introverted people that need to be tucked away. I think most of us do find comfort in taking a break from being right in the middle of a room, being able to watch from the side and having shelter around us, even if it's on our backs and just above us like this. I think that you can look across the room, but you yourself aren't noticed as much. I think that feels amazing to people. A lot of people are enjoying our booths. This is another Sansevieria. I'm a little obsessed with them. This one's fun too. This is risk and safety. So it's proven that if we have any elements of danger with a promise of safety. So you can see that these are huge beams. They weigh a ton. They would crush you if they fell. But they're held up by aircraft cable and they're not going anywhere. You feel this in the room. It's amazing when you walk in. They're just massive. They also create softness with all of this language of metal around them. So there's a technical aspect from the kitchen venting and all of the metal angle iron on the ceiling. This really breaks that up nicely. But to focus on the risk, this would be anything like crossing a river on rocks. You could easily fall in the water. There's nothing in our homes that are like that. They're very safe places. We've made them that way. So anytime, not that you want to make your house unsafe, but anytime you can create something out of the ordinary that feels heavy, that would hang, even if it's a large lamp or what else would this be? Something that, a sculptural that could potentially fall but is safe. It really actually releases dopamine, they've proven. So this is why you'll see in schools large sculptures hanging from the ceilings. Well, I wish we saw that more in schools. But I would say even the basketball hoop in a gym, this large shape above you that you know is anchored, but it's still a heavy shape. It's very good for our brains to have that in a space. This is an unimpeded view. So in biophilic design, they talk about being able to see stretches across a room. So you could really see where you're going and analyze a path across the room. This is our pond that I'm very proud of. So also with the pond, it creates humidity. I think people really feel humidity when they live in the desert like we do. It helps the plants be healthier. And you can see the windows to the south side, they reflect off the water and actually create the most beautiful kind of ripple on the opposite wall. So being able to see light change throughout the day and place shadows and highlights on the wall, these are all examples of biophilic design. Here's our koi fish. This is fun too, a mystery with the promise of more information with a partially obstructed view. So this is also speaking into what I was saying before, being able to really see across the room to where you're going. But if there's an object blocking your path, you really want to see what's behind it. So it creates an element of mystery. You can see I conveniently tucked my retail back there. So it makes you want to go find what's back there. This is a philodendron. Visual connection with nature. So this is great if you don't have the resources to obviously put a pond in the middle of your room or change the color of your paint because you're renting. The easiest way to incorporate kind of quickly biophilic design is even just adding art that has nature, because it feels like windows. Feels like windows of possibility that are different than your environment. Also this palette of this art, it's just kind of mirroring palettes in nature, which we can get into that more, the color, but the texture of the corn and then the blue of the sky and then the way nature often juxtaposes two colors. That's all part of biophilic design as well. This is a show we have hanging right now as an art show in our cafe. They rotate every 6 weeks, but this is Shayla Blatchford. She depicts Pueblo life of water rights issues. So actually, if you go to our website, you can find those there. This is such a beautiful picture. This is actually a friend sent me this from Nepal, but this is a frozen river reflecting the sky. So you can see there's white. Lots of homes have white walls, but there's so many other colors in this picture. So you're dealing with the blue from the sky, and it's kind of pushing up against the gold, against the rocks. So that dichotomy of blue and gold exists in nature often. I think it's important to really think about color when we introduce it into our homes. Less like a box of crayons and the colors we kind of grew up in cartoons, but more like think about your very favorite place you love to be in nature, and really look at those colors. Often it's a blue mixed with brown. It's a muted color compared to where our mind goes right away, where we're thinking about blue jeans and the race car we're wanting. But the blue of the sky is quite different. And yeah, I challenge everyone to study color closer, because if you can kind of nail the colors that nature makes, it feels really different as an experience in a room. This is blue elf aloe. I'm just gonna, this is the pond reflecting against the wall like I was speaking of. So these little window boxes a friend made for us, they light up and they really do feel like windows. I have one next to me in the booth here. So there's ways of incorporating nature even if you don't get to do that on a big scale. Color, adding artwork that has nature, even opening your shades, just opening your windows to have more natural light and relying on that natural light to have you experience the change of a day. I think so many people live in environments where the shades are shut and it could be 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. and they don't see a difference. I think that's really unhealthy for our body's natural ability to know when we're awake and when we're tired. Circadian rhythms, they call that. So yeah, it was really fun to share with you. Thank you so much. And you can look up our website. It's opuntia.cafe. And all these pictures are from my friend Kate Russell. She's an amazing photographer in Santa Fe. You can look her up too at Kate Russell Photography. Thank you.